Hi, this is my review of the new electric skateboard, the Stooge Moe Hawk. The owner of Stooge raceboards is Moe, hence the name Moe Hawk. The board came well packaged, and even with a handle, so that the lovely delivery people are less likely to throw it around. The board came unscathed, and as you can see, this board is using Meepo electronics. It came with a charger, skate tool, and hex tool. You also see these giant 125 urethane wheels, which are made by Maddie Skate. The board is beautiful. I chose a custom paint job of British Racing green and gold. These are the famous colors of the Lotus Racing team. Custom paint jobs are available at an additional cost. There were no instructions for assembling the board, but it was straightforward. I could see some confusion if this is your first board, though. You can choose any axle width using the spacers that come with. I chose to go more narrow in the front, only have one spacer between the wheel and axle. This was my first belt drive board, but setting up the pulleys and gear was a little weird, but it made sense. The tolerance for the pulley is very tight, so you need to align everything perfectly. I went as narrow as possible for the rear, but it is still wider than the front. This will give it more steer in the front, and the rear will follow. This is ideal since it also comes with the front truck at higher angle than the rear. I also did my classic DIY job on the remote and covered it with Velcro so that it sticks to my glove, and I made a protective shell with a cutting board. The board design allows the truck to be built into the frame of the board, which allows the standing platform to be as low as possible. This is ideal for this truck design. I also later add a riptide foot stop to the board, which adds additional feeling of being locked in. The board has a small standing platform. For reference, I have a size 10.5 shoe. I find this stance to be ideal. The board is very turny but stable. You can see that this board sits very low to the ground, but since the battery is on top, you have no clearance issues. I always ride with downhill skateboarding gloves and have the remote in front of the slide puck. This Velcro makes it so that I do not actually have to hold the remote, and I can just press the throttle brake. Always good to test out the electronics before riding. Everything is running fine, and it even brakes traction on full throttle. First riding impressions are that the trucks are very loose and dive hard. The next day, I get to try it on the track at our Chicago Intro to Speed event. Track events like this are always a great way to push the limits safely. It handles the top speed of 29 miles per hour with no problem, and it turns very intuitively. This board gives me a feeling of snowboarding more than an acoustic longboard. You do not have to get low or grab rail to make any turns. For reference, this is a very tight track with sharp turns, and I have no problem leaning into any turn. These wheels have lots of grip as they are new, but I am still on the edge of traction scrubbing around the corners. This board overall felt very good on the track and very confidence-inspiring. The idea behind this board is to create a spec racing class where all riders have the same board and it comes down to rider skill. Also paired with urethane wheels, this allows you to be riding at the limit of grip at much lower speeds. and the price for this board is 1,800 USD. Currently on sale for 1,500. This was my first time doing a video like this, so I appreciate you watching until the end.